Interesting. Okay. It's working. Testing YouTube. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026, and the European markets will open in approximately 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I hope you're well, and if you are in the UK, I hope you had a good bank holiday Monday, which I know that you enjoy your bank holidays. And if you are from America, well, you're probably not here, are you? You're probably asleep. And if you're from Asia, well, I hope that you had a good morning and welcome to this afternoon. As I said, the markets will open shortly. I do have something that I just want to touch upon, at least briefly. Here's my account. You'll see that my account balance is now $120,000. Yesterday, I was trading various things just as I was finishing streaming yesterday. The school run actually finally triggered. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do there. And that was this signal here. Around 2718. I didn't get a fill until 96 myself because it was a fast move. And then I posted it on Telegram and I added to it. I think it was around 46, wherever it was. It's in the Telegram postings. And then I got out a minute or so later, and everything that I had lost on the Dow in this sequence here, I made back. Now, some argue that that shouldn't be in my balance, but the fact of the matter is that it is. And I asked for people's opinion yesterday. I haven't read them all because, well, not that I ask for an opinion and don't read it, but because this morning I had been preparing for research. Let's see if I can say that in English. I was researching and wasn't necessarily focusing on reading comments, but I will do that later. The UK markets are open. The FTSE is open now, and obviously that's going to look a little different because it wasn't opened yesterday. I have Dow here just because I want to keep an eye on what's going on. So with 30 seconds to go, see if I can fit in the espresso. The espresso is about 20 points on either side. We are currently trading at 24,011. So that means that we would have a buy order around I'm gonna say 28. See, you keep moving higher and higher, doesn't it? 18 now with, that's at 40, and at 85. Always get a little bit problematic when you try to do the espresso and the market then rallies. So my orders are currently at 40. The high was at 18. If you add 17 to that, you're going to get 35, 37. So technically it could be a couple of points lower. But remember, this is only valid for the first 3 1-minute bars. The low is at 85. Subtract 17 for that, and you're going to get 69, 68. And I got an order at 62, so that too is a little bit too conservative. Put that there. So the FTSE is printing a first bar negative so far, coming down to the overnight range. And I haven't got the last close in the FTSE. But so that was the first 2 candles completed. You know, I think I'll delete the order. What you really want to see is that it just goes immediately. And it didn't. In fact, you could argue that the movement came just before the market opened, when it went on the second last 5-minute candle. It went from 91 just to the open at 18. But remember, we are trying to go for about a 40-point target. I will put the 18 plus 17, it's about 30, 18 to 18, 36, so about 35. So if I put plus 2 offset, so if I put a line here at 37, then we have a reference point. And then we can do the same for the low. The low is 985, minus 20 is 65. So if we put a line here at, call it 66, because that's 17 plus 2 offset. So the FTSE went down and tested the overnight range, and buyers are stepping in there. CNBC, I'm just going to get the last close in the FTSE. Last close in the FTSE was 10,363. So let me find that. That's this area here. Okay? So now we sort of have an idea where we are, gap downwise. I'm just going to check if there's any comments about anything. Divergent does not seem to work. I think you're the only one. Change the channel, I would say. I have already tested Divergent and it is working. So we got a signal in the FTSE, first bar negative. Stand by. Buying the FTSE here on a first bar negative. $102.56. I seem to have a software malfunction. You can keep an eye on the prices up there. Stand by for a long position in the DAX. Buying the DAX here at 24,041. So this is a breakout trade, a predefined amount from the opening, predefined amount from the opening range. As you can see, you have a relatively neutral open in the DAX. And if we're looking at the bigger picture, then there's an awful lot of lines here. See if I can get rid of some of these. No. So here's a daily chart. Seems to be the throes of somewhat of a trading range on the daily chart. FTSE did well for a bit, and now it is not. Some early research suggests that when you have a first bar negative, but then you get a 15-minute negative close, so almost like a 5-minute embedded within the 15-minute, that's a sign that the first bar negative is going to fail. I frequently go into my account and check I got no opening orders. It's one of my reoccurring nightmares is that I leave an order that I've forgotten about. I'm not trying to impose my neurotic behavior onto you, but it's not a bad idea just every now and then just to check in going, did I have anything there? Nah, all good. So we got a first bar negative in the DAX, we got a second bar positive, and we got a third bar positive with 1 minute to go. Stand by in the FTSE. not good. I'm closing half and I'm closing half. I'm reducing my size significantly. I've reduced it to a quarter size. The odds are now actually quite high that the FTSE is going to make a further move down. You may say, why are you not then getting out or flipping the switch? Well, because I haven't completely satisfied my own curiosity research-wise that it is the right move. So I've cut my position to a quarter. But let me give you an example. Where's my paint? There's my paint. So what you're seeing here is an example from my database. Here, this is a 15-minute chart, and that's very important. This is not a 5-minute chart. This is a 15-minute chart. But here, the first bar was a first bar negative. In fact, what I could do is I could show you the same chart, but as a 5-minute. So they're the same chart, FTSE, but one is a 15-minute and one is a 5-minute. So let's look at the 5-minute. What you're seeing here is a first bar negative, meaning buy here, fine, market goes up, but then it declines for another 3 or 4 bars down to bar 7, after which it makes a reversal. You can see that it's probably relatively, it's like from 70 down to 55, so a stop loss of 25 would save that. But what I noticed was that when the first 15-minute bar is negative and that gets breached after you fill, so on bar 3 of the 5-minute, then you tend to get follow through. That's why I was cutting my position size, and you can see so far that kind of follows the script. One thing is to have the knowledge, another thing is to act upon the knowledge. Another thing that has come to mind is that there are people who are asking me if I felt that I was over trading yesterday in the Dow. I perhaps see things differently because every trade that I took had a reason for it, and I tried to keep the losses as small as I possibly could. And as the saying goes, you can't actually you can't make money in the market if you're not in the market. And I felt that my loss, it has to be seen in the reflection of, well, hang on, I had made money early in the day, so I was still up on the day. And so from my point of view, at no point did I feel I am out of control. Rather, what I was trying to do is I was trying to actually find a movement that I could catch onto. And yesterday it was one of those days where I had 5 attempts and then it didn't work out. And I thought, well, you know what? I better just not subject my followers to any more of this. You can't, someone just said, you can't catch big fish in shallow waters. Well, yeah, it's a bit of a cliche, but and maybe not the sentiment that I want to convey, rather than that when the market then actually did move, I had just finished streaming. And did I make mistakes yesterday? Oh, absolutely. Take a look at how I bolstered up the school run. I should have been long from 318 and it actually went up to 416. But instead, I read this market as I should sell this as an anti, and that was a mistake that I made. Or should we say it wasn't a mistake, I made a call? I made a call, and it turned out that that's not what happened on that particular day. Excuse me 1 minute. Thank you for your patience. I'm back. But of course, you are free to have your opinion about my trading. Everyone's got an opinion, and I respect that. Someone is saying, do you have a session or daily bias before you come into the markets? No, absolutely not. I have no bias. I don't have an opinion. It doesn't matter if it's whatever it is that's the news. I do not have an opinion. I let the market dictate. Someone saying, shouldn't we have to move the DAX to break even? Well, you can. Please do. Don't ask me. It's your account. I'm not the boss. You are the boss of your account. Someone is saying, have you replied to the prop firm question from last week? No, not yet. And then someone is saying, I was made entry. Okay. All right. What's the difference today in DAX that you don't double up? Well, for one, I'm answering questions. Sometimes I feel like I just need to establish authority here, saying this is not an on-demand service where you can come in and get signals. I'm showing how I trade, but I'm trying to also help people get a positive experience out of this vocation called trading. But I'm not a juggling act, okay? There are times when I speak with you, and there are times when I'm just overtly focused. There is a saying, and I keep reminding myself because it's so true. When you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. So true. What about the research, sir? What about what research? I'm going to say this once more. I will get to the prop firm question when it feels appropriate. Right now, I am trading. Guys, I'm trading for a living. Okay? This is not some service where I get paid to be here. Money first, and then we can answer the prop firm question. Did you know that the older you get, the less money you spend? And the irony is that the older you get, the more money you tend to make. Yesterday and today, I found myself having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about, life. I said, do you know what? Over the weekend, I experienced real silence, and I thought, man, I would love to just grow cucumbers and parsley and tomatoes and onions, because then I'm sure that I eat healthily. 30 years ago, man, I really want to own a Porsche and have a girlfriend with big, How priorities change, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. School school run coming up. Stand by for a long position in the FTSE. School run has triggered in the DAX. Too positive. Excuse me. So we had a relatively neutral okay, that is definitely not right. 1 second. Okay. Let me just prepare something for you. Sorry, I just had to find a file. FTSE is not overly happy, huh? So here's the times when the DAX has a first bar positive, second bar positive on a 15-minute. On a Tuesday. So in many cases, we need to be mindful of the DAX actually reversing here. So far, so good. So if you do a little bit of voodoo, you got so stand by to take profit. I'm closing the DAX here. And you know what? I'm going to close the FTSE as well. Close DAX and close FTSE. I'll now answer some questions. Oh my God, now the FTSE goes. And the DAX as well. Well. So let me answer some questions that I have collected. Hello Tom, just wondering, for a long time, how long did it take you for you to become consistently profitable? I'm in this business giving money away for 4 years. I'm not sure my journey is necessarily comparable to yours. We all have our individual journeys. I was fortunate that I worked on a trading floor as a broker, and that allows you to earn good money while observing the market and also being given risk parameters to trade from or hedge positions without it actually affecting your own wallet. But once I then started trading for myself, I certainly had to relearn some things that I had acquired. So although that I was fortunate to be able to observe people trading for almost 10 years, I almost instinctively gravitated towards their behavior. Not because I wanted to, but because of how the psyche is composed. And I felt, I would say that it probably took me 2 years trading for myself, in spite of all the knowledge that I had, before I began to find a rhythm to trade from. And my really big moment came 5 years later. 5 years of trading independently, when in 2015 I rode a trend for several weeks and I made a fortune. That was the point where I thought, I got this. But then, it's like a muscle. You have to keep working at it. And I have certainly found my confidence coming and going. Right now, I feel I'm riding a wave of confidence, and I trade with a degree of clarity and conviction. But I also know that there will come a time when, or a period of time, when I will lose confidence. I'll have a drawdown. Okay. I don't know. Why did we short? I don't know. Oh, yes. Hi, Tom. Why we didn't short it FTSE today with school run? Well, because school run is not a FTSE technique. This is my month of trading, add into my winners, change the deal for me, but how to hold? Well, you just bring an awareness to your game, and through that awareness, you attempt to hold positions longer and longer. Hi Tom, I want to ask you if you can elaborate how you carry out audits. Well, I have a PowerPoint presentation where I post my trades in, and then I look at how the market evolved from I got out of the trade. I don't use Excel. It's a visual exercise as opposed to being a numerical exercise. I brought this one along because I thought it was kind of sweet. Good morning, happy Labor Day. Can we trade together, sir? I think I can read the markets good. I'm trading markets for the last 10 years. I will share my insights here live market on Monday. Schöne Wochenende. I brought that along because I get many posts like this sent to me, or messages sent to me, and I smile every time because I'm thinking, if you've been trading for the last 10 years and you can read the market really well, why don't you just go and make the living that you clearly want? Usually there's some kind of financial agenda behind it. Then there's this one here. How can I join your channel so I'm able to interact with you and other members during the live stream? Greetings from Vienna, best Alex. You can't. People don't communicate with each other. They communicate with me. Andy, if you're listening in, do you feel like joining me today? I felt perhaps we could address the prop trading. Thanks, Andy. Then there's a guy here, I get really weird messages from people, and it just sort of baffles me frequently why people even bother. And I got this one here from somebody. He's saying, is that you in a report from the stock market crash in 1987? And you're thinking, is it, okay, fine, that's a funny comment, but then to ask me a question mark later, like, how old do you think I am? When the stock market crash happened, I was like 16 years old. Does this look like a 16-year-old? But people send me messages saying, oh, just ignore them. How can you ignore something unless you actually read it? You have to read it in order to be able to ignore it. Otherwise, I'll have to ignore everything. Hi, Tom. I just want to say I appreciate the experience of being 300% long in the Dow and how you manage it. Yes, it caused a loss. Well, yeah, but that's the whole point of this channel, is I show it for what it is. Hi, Tom. Can you tell me if there's documentation for the espresso and the anti? No, but I'm working on it. Hi, Tom. You emphasize the idea of holding winners' trades and let them run. But when I watch you live trading, I notice you often close trades relatively quickly, almost like scalping. I kind of strongly dispute that. But I also acknowledge that quickly is in the eye of the beholder. I agree. There comes a point where you do have to close the trade. This is where I get confused, but the idea of holding long seems to conflict with the need to eventually exit. I get it. And I didn't portray this as an easy argument at all. But I feel that this topic here has been discussed endlessly. And last year I posted 190 videos of me live trading. And while I'm not arguing that you should watch all 190, unless you want to, you will frequently see me balance adding to positions and holding. But you also have to appreciate something, and I think this is an important point. You see me in a 60 to 90 minute window, but a typical trading day for me is 10 hours. I don't want to stream 10 hours because it wouldn't serve your purpose, and it certainly wouldn't serve mine. And so this streaming in the morning in European time and in the afternoon US time, morning US, it's to give you an insight into how you can make money without being in the market all day. Andy, you just let me know if you're in, or do I have to approve you? Is that what you're waiting for? Probably it is. Greetings. Thank you very much. Appreciate your comment. I want to ask for your take on something. What is your opinion on moving the stop loss? Well, it's such a subjective matter. As you know, I didn't move my stop loss at all on the DAX position we just exited. I just thought, just let it run. Because I'm here, I'm watching anyway. And perhaps I should have moved the stop loss, but it just so happens that I didn't. But you could say that if you traded with targets, it gets a lot more easy to if you think, like, if, for example, if you're looking at the traders within the Al Brooks community. It's like you have Rose, the Tims, Al, Brad. You will frequently hear them talk about targets. And if you are a person that has a target, then it gets quite a lot easier to make a rationale for a stop loss versus your targets. If your target is 100 points, maybe you want to have a 50-point stop loss, thus creating a 2-to-1 ratio. But for someone who is not trading with targets, it gets significantly more difficult. And so I move my stop loss up depending on what I read the market to be. Is it a trending market? Then I'm not in a rush. If it's range bound, then I'll try and move it up as quickly as I can. Andy, are you, let me just see what it says, sure. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do anything, Andy. I'm not actually taking questions in the channel. These are pre-prepared. I'm reaching out to you because I'm going through the darkest period of my life. After a long stretch of being profitable, I hit a losing streak that lasted for months. And so I asked this person, are you sleeping well? And the reason why I did that is because I track many things in my life, and the metrics that I track the closest is probably how much sleep I get. So yesterday, for example, I had slept a lot, and it certainly helped me navigate a difficult day for me, ending up still making a significant portion of money. Last night / this morning, I didn't sleep very well because I have during my sprint training, I significantly damaged a part of my body which is really difficult to heal, and that's the toe. And it kept me up at some point during the night, so I didn't register as much sleep as I would like to normally. That's another reason why I am perhaps a little more conservative today. Of course, I don't want to be accountable to you how much I've slept. I don't start the day by saying, my sleep score today is 83, so therefore you need to not follow me. It doesn't work like that. But I wrote quite an extensive reply to this gentleman how to create structure. All right, so here we get into it. Andy, are you near? Are you far? Where are you? Because I know you have something to say about this. Seems like I've lost Andy. So I'm just gonna reach out to Andy on another. Seems like Andy is not here. Let me just call him.
Yeah.
How is it that I can hear
Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, uh, yeah, I was just getting ready for the gym. Sorry about that. All right. So,
Andy, I can't hear you in my headset. How do I achieve that? Do
uh,
I have to go to Divergent?
yeah, that's something that John probably needs to tell you. Uh, I wouldn't know that.
Okay. This is not working very well.
It isn't.
Try
But
again,
can
Andy.
people? Yeah.
Andy? This is John, if you can hear us, how can we make this work? We keep getting stuck at the same. Andy, can you just make a comment?
Yeah, I'm also having this double hearing me, and
Yeah, me too.
we should probably just set that up with a video call.
Yeah. Oh, this is so frustrating.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Andy, is it your impression that people can hear you? But then I can't hear what you're saying now, so fuck it.
Yeah, we need to figure that out first.
And Andy, I'm gonna kick you out again. I'm sorry.
No worries.
All right. So I'm gonna attempt to answer this, and um, fuck. I've just been sent. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to fix this problem. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Sorry, John. It's not working. Yeah, I'm gonna. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna attempt to do something about this. I will call the session here, and then I'll call the end of it. So let me just do a roundup. What did I do here? I did a first bar negative in the FTSE. I closed part of the position because I didn't like how it looked. In the end, it actually turned out right, and I added, but then I lost on the add. So overall, well, I lost. And then I made a really good trade on the DAX. I got out at 27, which is about here. And I didn't get that last spike from 23 up to, well, it actually spiked all the way up to 215. So a 90-point spike, but there you go. Still a very profitable morning, and got no open orders. So I will call it that, and then I'm going to get on the phone to my IT guy because I really need this. Well, I think it will be beneficial for you, that method of getting Andy in and others. I see it's not just Andy I got lined up. I also got another trader lined up that I want to bring in that you will absolutely love. It's not that I don't want to do this anymore. Quite the contrary, I want to expand it so that it becomes multi-dimensional. So it's not just me that you listen to, but you also listen to the feedback and education of other traders, because I think that will enhance everybody's experience of this. But right now, the IT infrastructure isn't working. So I'll working on fixing that. So have a lovely morning, and we will get to the prop questions soon enough. That I promise you. Thanks a lot, and I will see you for the US session. Bye bye.